So I found an old journal of mine from a long time ago, and I was flipping through this past week and I was reading through and I was like, oh, major cringe factor. Like, it's amazing how much we actually change over time without realizing that we're changing. So as I'm reading this person that I don't even recognize. It's like this pre and post-teen over-dramatic person with self-created drama and problems, and what was a priority then would be definitely not a priority now in my life. And it was amazing how, I thought to myself, wow, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for the simplifying of life right now. And not all of life is simple, but the problems now are, how can I put it? A little more mature, I guess you could say. It made me think about this idea of how we're always in flux, how everything around us shapes us in a sort of way, how we just pick up wisdom and experiences. So, the more we try to fight change or force change, the more it kind of blows up in our face. So a lot of it is we don't see it happening, it just happens. And, it got me thinking also about a lot of YouTubers and influencers right now are always talking about, they've been talking about this for years, and you'll see videos like a big shift is coming in humanity, something will happen, right? Shock value type of stuff. And it's not that, one instant that something's going to happen for humanity, this giant shift in humanity. It's that we've been changing all along, okay? So it's not necessarily like, past years and years of past religions have always been talking about Armageddon and apocalypse, and basically it could be looked at as a symbolic way of internal growth. So not so much external, but on the internal. So, I want you to think about this for a second, this idea of change. And a lot of times we're fighting change, or a lot of times we're trying to change, and but we're just going to change just by living and our experiences. And it's not going to be one big event. A lot of people talk about a great shift, dimensional shift, where people need to wake up and open their eyes to the bigger picture. But you can't look at it that way, because everybody is there in their own timetable. So, it's almost like religion. I'll use it as an example. People thinking, okay, this is the only way to get to the stairway to heaven, and everybody else is going to be left behind. I see a lot of people saying, okay, we're moving in this 5D type of world, and everybody, that's going to stay stuck in 3D. That's almost like saying that, if you're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that you have to put the jelly before the peanut butter and not the peanut butter first, which is how people have always done it. There's not one way to say that this is right, this is wrong, because everybody is living their own experience in their own time. So you can't predict how somebody's life is going to go, how some experience is going to change them. It's still looking from that polarizing point of view. Like, okay, you're stuck in this three-dimensional body, in this three-dimensional world that we've lived in our whole lives, and I'm, moving on up the chain, right? Moving on up, and you're, mincemeat, whatever. So we can't think from that way. We have to think think of your life in less of a linear fashion, more in a circular fashion. So think of the yin and the yang, okay? Yin represents darkness, okay? Dark, the shadow side of the moon. But who's to say that just because it's dark, it's less than the yang of the sun, right? You need both yin and yang to complete the whole circle, and they're always in flux with one another. So it's the same with your life. If you think of your life in a circular fashion, the beginning comes back again into itself. So it's not an actual ending at the end, but a new set of beginnings. So it's not that the world, it's like something big is going to happen, where we're cruising through life and we just fall off a cliff, right? It's like the flat earthers, where it's like we're just there's an edge and it's just gonna, wherever we go, we go. You have to think of it more around the circle, new beginning, okay? And change is inevitable. It happens to all of us through our experiences. Just because you have shadows in you doesn't make them bad necessarily. It's part of the whole pie, the whole circle. Because your shadows, or your demons, you may call them, is what often drives change within you. So, when we're talking about these dimensional shifts, it's more of an internal growth that just happens. It's not about putting this much time in or this much work in or following this group or saying, if you don't follow my jelly before peanut butter club, then you're not worth living. You're not worth anything, right? We can't think from that type of way if we want to help the world. Sure, we want humanity to do better. We want everybody to get along. That would be great. But everybody is in their own experience and changing at their own level. So we can't condemn people for that. The most we can do is live in our own light and our own truth and, really show up as us in the world. Okay, not fear-mongering or not, inflicting shock value on people or saying that, some big thing will happen. Well, the big thing is not necessarily a thing or an event. It may be a series of events, but that's been happening for centuries, since the beginning of time, right? We've had wars, we've had, natural disasters. We've had things that always happen that drive change within us. It's those experiences. But don't think that there's one big thing that's going to change you, because you've been changing all along, right? You keep going through this circle of endings and beginnings. And like that cringy journal that I was reading, it just happens. We don't ask for it. It just happens through us, through just living, right? It doesn't happen through, I read this book or I did this meditation and suddenly I'm a new person. Sure, we have habits that we've like to transform and into something healthier for ourselves, and that's perfectly fine. But it's forcing versus allowing, okay? It goes into that whole topic where we're trying to force change or condemn other people that are stuck and think that, we're on different wavelengths. We're all on the same wavelengths. It's just that our timetables are different. So the next time you're reading your cringy journal, or maybe you burned it because it was too cringy, and, just think about that. Think about how much you have changed just through the years, not by force, not by following Peanut Butter and Jelly Club, not by watching videos and really preparing yourself for doomsday or preparing yourself for the next thing that's going to wake up humanity and open their eyes and everything. If your eyes are open, they're open. That's fine. And the most you can do, you can educate other people. Okay, you can educate other people, but the most influence you can have on other people is just living as you in the world, right? Showing up in the world as you. And I say this a lot, a lot of videos, showing up as you in the world and not just following other people's footsteps. So anyway, I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments below, leave me a comment or two. Subscribe, I put out new videos every single week for you on all kinds of cool topics. So on that note, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.